IG, Facebook. Peace. What is going on? I apologize, y'all. These lights are just like beaming on me. Welcome. Today is one of my favorite days of the week. As I always say, every day is my favorite day. 6 feet above ground. Today is FICO Friday, December 6th, 2019. Man, this year is flying. Hopefully everybody is having a great year thus far. Hopefully everybody had a good holiday, all that good stuff. Let me see. King Tommy, what's going on? King Chris, Justice, what's going on, family? All right, y'all. So, again, welcome. King George, what's up, man? Today is Friday, FICO Friday. I apologize. I'm looking between the different screens, seeing everybody saying what's up. So we got the Mr. Will Roundtree page. We got the J. Morrison Academy page. And, of course, we have my personal Facebook page as well. So today's topic on FICO Friday is, hey, peace, thank you, is you're still not in easy funding. Why not? What are you waiting for? You know? And so I always like to talk about the power of what easy funding has been able to do, not only for myself, but for a lot of people who we've coached, a lot of people who have just been following us and following the movement in the whole nine. But before we go into that, for those who may not know me, my name is Will Roundtree, president and founder of We Management Services, president and co-founder of Easy Funding. Let me see, credit mastery instructor for the J. Morrison Academy and our real estate business credit course curriculum at the J. Morrison Academy. I am now a 2-time author. First book is Credit is King, and my second book, which I'm extremely proud of, Full-Time CEO, the shit they do not tell you about, which is officially out. Everybody who got their pre-orders, the books will be getting shipped out this weekend. So again, I appreciate everybody, and as promised, the top pre-order sales, those names are in the book, and I did give a shout out and a thank you to all of those people who supported the book. Right now you can go to willroundtree.com and pick up a copy of that book. Appreciate that, Anwar. And or you can go to amazon.com, lulu.com. I mean, you can purchase it pretty much everywhere. And I am getting the audio version worked on right now as we speak. So again, I appreciate everybody. And I just started the credit mastery course. Appreciate that. Thank you. King Frank, what's going on? I know King Frank probably done ordered about 300 copies already. I know how he get down. So no, I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, make sure y'all pick up this book. And I'm not even saying that as a shameless plug. King Rashad, what's up, man? I'm really talking about it from a standpoint of, you know, it's talking for all my entrepreneurs, my business owners, my CEOs, as I like to call all of us. You know, this book really is going to break down all of the things that you may not have ever thought about when it comes to going into business. You know, I mean, because a lot of times in business or entrepreneurship, we think everything is going to be a straight line. You know, we have this goal, we have this idea, we have this plan, and I'm here to tell you it does not work like that. However we feel life works, that's exactly how business works, except 10 times more, because you're dealing with multiple things. You know, when you're a business owner, you're the owner, you're the accountant, you're the counselor, you're the payroll. I mean, you have to handle all of those things. And so, but these are things most people don't think about when going into business. I mean, how many people think about making sure they have a good accountant? Because a lot of us may not. How many people have thought about how do you deal with your pricing? How many people think about how do you deal with, you know, employees? How do you deal with, you know, branding? How do you deal with customer service? How do you deal with sales funnels? How do you deal with sales strategies? I mean, there's so many different things that we have to think about when starting a business. But all we may be focused on is making a great burger if we're a cook or a chef, or providing great, a great product, or whatever the case is. And so the biggest thing that I always try to tell people in business is we have to create an entire customer experience. And that's exactly what I'm talking about in this book. So make sure you guys go out and pick up a copy. Pick up 5 copies. This should be in everybody's stocking stuffer. Please, please, please. Let's go ahead and support that, because we need to make this a New York top bestseller. And King Richard, I appreciate that. Thank you. So back to today's topic is So you're still not in easy funding. Queen Nina, what's going on? Why not? What are we waiting for? And I always like to share that because, I speak with so many business owners and entrepreneurs. And I actually just had a meeting a few days ago where, this company was, they were trying to convince me on why they needed an investor for their business. And I'm open to that because, I like to invest in other companies myself. But I'm one of the things that I try to educate people on is, one, you don't want to take an investment too early in your startup. And this is why. And again, a lot of this is because I'm sharing my experience of what happened to me. I can remember one of my first companies where I wanted to get an investor, because we just automatically assume money is going to solve our issue in business. And I'm here to tell you it does not. Because guess what? That money doesn't last forever. So the little bit of money that investor gives us, it's going to run out. And so a lot of times it's things that money don't have anything to do with, which is going to help you to continue to grow your business. You have to create the value. Why would someone even want to come spend money with you? So no matter how much money an investor dumps into your company, if nobody wants to do business with you, it doesn't matter. Now you're going to be on the hook for owning an investor from a company that's not making any money. And so we have to, and it's all about the psychology of business. And that's also too what I talk about in the book. The book is called Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you about. And so with that being said, when I'm talking to up and coming business owners and when they're saying, hey, I need an investor, I need this, I need that. And I'm like, look, I personally don't recommend you should take an investment at the beginning infancy stages of your business, because then you're going to be giving up too much equity within your company. I can remember one of my first businesses that I took an investment from. The investment was $5,000 and I gave up 60% of my business. So essentially I became an employee of the investor. And when you're at the mercy of someone who's going to be giving you just a small contribution just to get your business off the ground, they are going to probably want to try to take as much from that company as they can. And they have the right to do so because they're pulling the strings. Keep in mind, just because you have a great idea and we all feel that, our business strategy or our business goal or our business ideal is going to change the world or make a dent or make an impact, and it will one day. I wholeheartedly agree. We all have the potential to go out there and create a life-changing business or a life-changing service or product or whatever the case is. But if I need a little bit of capital just to get the door open and an investor comes to me with a check, you'd be surprised the level of, for lack of better words, a level of, being desperate that sometimes we may fall into. And that's where I was at when I, started my first business over 10 years ago. I was at a desperate state of point because I didn't know any other opportunities or any other ways. And so for $5,000, this individual took 60% of my business. And so it's like, again, I'm working for that individual. And so I want people to really understand the power of going through the Easy Funding program is that you can utilize it to be able to be your own investor. You can utilize it to, as I always say, become the architect of your own journey, your own destiny, or whatever it is that you're trying to do or focus on. And so with that being said, and for those who just hopped on, I apologize. I'm bouncing from screen to screen. We got 3 different social medias going. So so just the fact that when you're going through Easy Funding, imagine most businesses can be started with $10,000 or less. Now, I didn't say that $10,000 is going to ensure that they're successful, but even just thinking about the fact of somebody on the Jay Morrison page, can you please pin the name of the book for me or type it in for me so I can pin it? Thank you. I think somebody did it already. Appreciate that. Let me see if I can pin that. Thank you, Queen. And so with that being said, with most businesses being able to get off the ground with $10,000 or less, we can be able to go out there and utilize revolving capital to be able to do so. I always share this statistic. Did you know that most small and medium-sized businesses were started utilizing credit cards or revolving lines of credit? And so the reason that the Easy Funding program is so powerful is because we're putting people in position to be able to get access to tens of thousands of dollars of capital to be able to grow and start their business and get it off the ground. Everything from marijuana dispensaries to getting the licensing, even just being able to use the capital to pay for an LLC. You know, I mean, unfortunately, some of us have been in positions where we didn't even have the money to start an LLC or set up an LLC. So imagine how powerful it is to be able to use your revolving credit line just to get your paperwork done. You know, because then once you get your LLC, now you got to get a state license, a county license, or a city license, or how many ever license you have to get in your local municipality. But then you may, then you got to have marketing materials. You may want to get business cards. You want to, you may need a laptop. I mean, these are things that we don't think about. And again, most of this stuff is $5,000 or less. So even just to open up the business before you even can announce to the world that you started a business, we got to have some form of capital. But it all starts with understanding the power of being able to leverage our credit. And yes, King Anwar, tell me about it. The licensing, and I just had to renew my business license for one of the municipalities. I think it was my state license, $326 every single year, not including my cost to renew my parent company that's registered out of Las Vegas, which is $650 every year. And then I have 7 companies that I have to renew. So yeah, we have to have some form of capital to be able to even just stay in business. Because imagine if you get off the ground, you open up, and then next year you got to renew all of that stuff again, but your company hasn't made any money. But let's say you may not necessarily have the capital, but you were fortunate enough to have access to some credit. At least you can still stay in business long enough, because a lot of times businesses can't get off the ground because they don't stay in business long enough. I'm always sharing with people that, and I had this convo with someone a couple weeks ago about how when it comes to business and an effective marketing campaign, and I talk about marketing in the new book for those who have not picked up their copy yet. An effective marketing campaign, it takes about 90 days to really see the value of an effective marketing campaign. 90 days. Did you know statistically most people quit within 30 days? So even with a brand new business, statistically most people quit running their business within the first 30 days because maybe they didn't get the support from their friends, their family, relatives that they thought they were going to get. And so a lot of the times, half the battle of why a lot of businesses fail is because they quit too soon. And so also when it comes to trying to grow your business, an effective marketing campaign, we can't run them properly because we don't have the budget to actually pay for marketing. That's another area where Easy Funding can come into play. So imagine if you just, needed to set aside $300 to $500 to run an effective marketing campaign, even if it was a paid ad on different social media platforms. $300 to $500 budget, which, on a grand scheme from a budgeting standpoint, it's not a lot of money, but for a new business, that's a lot of money. And so imagine being able to take $900 from a credit card and be able to pay for a 90-day marketing campaign, but you only have to pay back against that monthly, which your payments will probably be about $60 a month, which that'll give you enough time to ramp up so you can make enough or hopefully generate enough income to be able to come back and pay that marketing budget off that you use from the credit card or the line of credit. But see, again, because we haven't been conditioned to think outside the box of how credit works. And again, that's because we've been looking at credit from a consumer standpoint. How much funding can you get from Easy Funding? It depends on your situation. Everybody's situation is different. I mean, we've had people who got $6,500, and we've had people who've gotten, $100 and something thousand. I mean, we've had clients who's been in the program for several years who's eclipsed over $500,000 in capital. But I always tell people, even if you only got $5,000 in funding, that's $5,000 more than you had previously. And it doesn't stop there. You want to continue to keep growing from there. But because sometimes people take it emotional, they feel that, they should have got $500,000. They get upset and then don't even want to continue to go on. And so, and that's the other thing too, when it comes to business, is that we have to stop being so emotional. I'm here to tell you, shit ain't going to go right in business. That's what I always talk about. And so, but we have to be able to adapt to any obstacle that's going to come our way, because things will happen. And if we can't handle small situations and scenarios like that, how are we going to handle when we have $100,000 issues, when we have $500,000 issues? But we're barking and complaining and being upset and being emotional over $4,000 issues, over $400 issues. And not saying that we shouldn't, because, of course, everybody's plight is different, but it's about how we react and handle things. And we have to stop dealing with things so emotionally. All right. If it was easy, everyone could do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, and I'm really big on, we have to stop doing things so emotionally, and so, but I know I've kind of veered off the path, but, the Easy Funding Program, I'm so passionate about, just because not even what it's done for me, but what I've seen, what it's done for you guys. One of my favorite stories is one of our coaching clients out in Illinois came to us, and I'm going to continue to share his story, because if he can do it, anybody can. Literally, none of us should ever have any excuses. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. If this king, was able to go through the process. To get the requirements, go to our website, useeasyfunding.com. King Justice, if you could put that in the chat on the Will Roundtree Instagram page. So we had a coaching client, use some of his capital. Well, before I even talk about that, he had tried to do everything on his own and wasn't getting the results that he needed, because a lot of times, it's just like going to the gym. We can go to the gym and just do some things on our own, but we don't see the results because we're not a specialist in that field or in that industry. And sometimes we have to hire a specialist. We got to become a professional at hiring professionals. And so this king said, you know what, King Will, I'm going to be submissive to the point to where I'm going to, hire a professional. Keep your feelings in your pocket. I like that. Keep your feelings in your pocket. And so he decided to join coaching with us. In the middle of coaching, he lost his job. Came to me and said, King Will, I lost my job, this, that, and the third. And I was like, okay, King, I definitely understand that, and I empathize with you. But first things first, you signed an agreement, so you will not be getting a refund. He just kind of laughed and chuckled. But, we had that type of relationship, so, I could joke with him. But more importantly, I asked him, I said, well, what do you want to do? You want to continue, or you want to, sit there and waddle? Because you told me what your goals were. You said you want to change your family financial situation. You said you want to put your family in the new neighborhood. You said you want to purchase investment properties. You said you want to do all these things. And so my job as your coach is to hold you accountable. What are we going to do? We're going to sink or swim. He said, you know what, King, let's go. And so I was like, okay, perfect. So during the process of him not having a job, we still went out there and was able to help him secure over $100 and some thousand of capital throughout the process of going through funding. And he also had one-on-one coaching. So, of course, when you have one-on-one coaching, we get to talk about things on a little bit higher level, And so he was like, I wish I would have did this earlier, because everything that you walked me through, I've been trying to do, but it wasn't as, I didn't have the structure. I was just piecing information together from people thinking, I was doing it the right way. And so outside of that, during the process of him not having a job, we got him the capital. Then he was able to purchase his first investment property, utilizing, of course, the strategies. And so I say that not to impress anyone, but just to impress upon everybody. If he can do it, anybody can. But we got to be willing to make the decision, which is why I'm always saying that where we are today is a direct reflection of the decisions we made 3 to 5 years ago. So if we want our today to change, or if we want our next 3 to 5 years to change, we got to make different decisions today. And that's what I told the king. And he was like, man, this was the best thing that I ever could have did. And it changed my entire life. And since then, the king has started, 2 or 3 other businesses, about to purchase some more real estate. He probably over $400,000 in capital. I mean, so it's nothing he can't use it. It's nothing he won't be able to do. Matter of fact, he used the easy funding to actually invest in another company, with some of his partners. And so understanding that's the power of what we have here within this company. But we have to get the strategies. Getting the money is the easy part, but we got to now leverage the strategies that we're teaching for us to be able to actually go to that next level. And really, that's what it's all about, family. It's about strategies. And, as we always, share, we don't have a money issue. We have a strategy issue, because getting the money is the easy part. Ask the king who didn't have a job. Now, granted, he had to have some good credit, but he had been following us for so long, he was able to position himself before he even came to the table. King 80, what's going on? So that's what it's about. Like, we just got to position ourselves, and we got to stop making excuses on why we can't become successful. I think a lot of times we talk ourselves out of success. And when I talk about success, it's not about having an amount of money or being able to have stuff. Success can be anything of what you deem that brings you happiness. And for me, I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy my time. Anybody who knows me, they know I am a stickler for time. I hate being 1 minute late, And so if I know I got to be somewhere at, 3 o'clock, I'm probably going to leave about 2:15, even if it's 10 minutes away, just because I value other people's time just as much as I value mine. So I never want to waste anybody else's time. And so what success for me has been, or one of the things that I deem as success, is being able to buy my freedom back, or get my freedom back, to be able to wake up when I want to, even though I'm still the early bird. I know some of my East Coast clients who calling me at 4 a.m. That's why I'm usually having to wake up so early. I'm able to get my time back. And so we have to, just understand, what is freedom to you? What sacrifices are you willing to make to position yourself for freedom? And then we get the people who say, well, it costs me to go through easy funding. No, it's not a cost. It's an investment. It costs you to have cable television. It costs you to buy cigarettes every week, or however often you buy cigarettes. It costs you to go to the mall and buy them outfits for the concert that you're going to wear to, that nobody is going to see you in that outfit because it's dark. So those things cost. Easy funding is an investment. Repairing your credit is an investment. One-on-one coaching is an investment. I have several of my coaching clients on the lives right now will tell you it's been the best investment they ever made. Not even just from a standpoint of the success that they've endured, but even just the relationships that they have now, have curated. Imagine, and I always say, being in the space that I'm in, the thing that I love is that I pretty much can touch down in most cities and know someone in that city because of the relationships that I've established. That's one of the biggest, other successes that I think we all could enjoy, is the fact that we can create relationships to be able to network with anyone across the country and eventually across the world, or however far you want to, expand your reach. And so that's the power of all of that. But guess what? It all starts with credit. Believe it or not, everything starts with that 3-digit number that we're solely based off of when it comes to financing. Not even just financing, when it just comes to how people view us as individuals. And so understanding that, and this is why I'm so keen on just saying, like, we really got to understand the power of credit. And it's so much bigger just to be able to buy a house or a car or get a credit card. Like, it's about what the credit can do for you. Just like when it comes to, building your legacy. And the beautiful thing I love about credit, there's so many that I like, but you literally can create wealth if you understand the power of credit. You literally can create wealth by understanding the power of credit, because you can have an idea today, leverage your credit, get some capital, and start your business within the next few days or the next few weeks, or even if it took you the next few years. I always tell people, if it took you if you needed 50,000 to start a business, and it took you 2 years to get that 50,000, in the timeline of getting your credit right, getting your mind right, because I always say we got to get our mind right, getting some capital for your business, all of that, that's a very short period of time. Because how long would it take you to save $50,000? Statistically, most people in the black and brown communities don't have $500 in savings, let alone having access to $50,000 to be able to invest in themselves, into their business, into their communities, or whatever is you would be utilizing it for. So if you haven't signed up for Easy Funding, you know, I'm urging everyone to do so. You know, I'm going to challenge everybody. You know, let's stop buying. You know, in the book, Robert Kiyosaki talks about doodads. Let's stop buying doodads. You know, we got enough gadgets. You know, how much more can your iPhone do? You know, let's stop standing in line and buying iPhones. Let's stop, squandering our money on things that bring us no return on investment. Let's start investing in ourselves. So I'm going to challenge everybody. And you guys can put this in the chat, or if you want to send it to me privately in a DM. What are you going to invest in to better yourself before the end of the year? What is it that everybody on these chats, on all three platforms, what is it that you're going to invest in for you to better yourself before the end of the year? And let's forget about saying, 2020, new me, new year, and all that stuff. No, let's do it today. You know, in the movie The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy said, "There's no better time than the present." I think it was Dorothy. Somebody in the movie said it. There's no better time than the present. Like, why do we gotta wait till the 2020 to be great? Let's be great today. Let's start to be great today. Let's change how we think. Let's change how we walk. Let's change how we act, how we talk. All of that for the better, for ourselves, for our loved ones. Like, what are we going to do? What are you going to do to invest in yourself today? Today. All right. And that's really, my biggest thing. I joined the RBC program last week. Scrappy Savagery. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Good job. That's what I'm talking about. I did so many Black Friday, Cyber Monday purchases on Udemy classes. Shit they don't tell me. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you. I love y'all too, man. I'm telling y'all, I appreciate y'all so much that, just rocking out with me every single week. King Justice. What you gonna invest in, King Justice? I already know what you got cooking up over there. Credit repair building. Absolutely. Yeah, like what are we gonna invest in? Reading Contagious by John Berger. Good book. Definitely a good book. Yeah, let's start educating ourselves more. Mark Twain said, I never let schooling get in the way of my education. So I also joined Trapper. Okay, good stuff. Not familiar with Trapper. Just saying I invested in education. Yes, we got to invest in ourselves. We have to. Just invested in Path 3, my 3 LLCs, and a trucking portal, and full-time CEO as we speak. Appreciate you. Thank you. LLC and credit repair. I love it, y'all. What y'all investing in? I want to know. I want to know what we investing in. I bought Easy Fund in November, but had a medical emergency, had to use credit cards. So my use is at 37%. When does the clock start on my 12 months? King, just follow up with us once you get it paid down. Don't even worry about the 12-month clock. Don't even worry about it. All right? Which brings me to a point what the King was talking about in multi-units in the Midwest. That's what I'm talking about. I had a client who his father had to be admitted into hospice care. His father is an immigrant, doesn't have, isn't a U.S. citizen, so he doesn't have medical care, and the hospice facility, it's not cheap to service the debt for that. He utilized his credit to be able to put his father in hospice care, which, if he had not done so, his father would have passed away. His father, fortunately, is still alive, but his situation had gotten so bad they was able to care for him to be able to kind of nurse him back, to where he's still, here to this day. And this was about 3 to 4 months ago. And so credit is so much more powerful, I'm telling you. Like, now, granted, yeah, he still got to pay it back, but it wasn't about the money for him. At that point, he just wanted to focus on being able to get his father proper care. Imagine how many people are sitting in prison right now because they don't have $500 to pay bail. Think about that. $500 to pay bail. So imagine being able to bail a family member out or bail a loved one out because you got access to $500. We'd be surprised how many people are sitting in prison right now or in jail right now because they couldn't make bail. So, it's just really, really, really powerful, which is why, I wholeheartedly believe in our easy funding program. Already invested in credit marketing event for February. I'm fixing my credit and building my first tier of credit and so much more. One step at a time. Absolutely. And I like that last line. We got to take one step at a time. We have to, because a lot of times we're trying to compare somebody's chapter 15 to our chapter 1. We don't know how long they've been working on them 15 chapters. They may have been in the game for 10 years, but we get in the game and in 1 month we feel we got to be where they're at. Well, you didn't go through what they went through. You don't know how much money they've invested and probably lost, how many friends they've lost, how many failed relationships they probably had, because entrepreneurship is a lonely journey. How many family members probably alienated them or whatever the case is. So we gotta, we gotta just do our part. All right. What book did you mention? Let me see. I'm not sure. I had talked about a couple books. I apologize. Simply Ann, send us a DM if you have not been able to reach us. But yeah, good thing is we have been busy, and as a community, y'all should be happy that we're busy. That means we can continue to stay in business, continue to thrive, and continue to pour back into the community and pour back into you guys. All right. Tax lien certificates and tax deed delinquent properties will use easy funding to get the ball rolling. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Royalty, the _ investor. Cost of coaching. The coaching varies. So if you want information on the coaching, please send us a message and we will get you in touch with the team. What's the first step to building your business credit? The first step I would say is to speak with one of our credit specialists, because to say what's the first step, it depends on where you are right now, today. Without knowing where you are, it'd be hard to say what the first step is. The first step is, I would say, is kind of getting an assessment. That's where I would always start. See, each loss is a learning tool. Absolutely. Like the great poet King Justice Ross once said, I don't believe in taking losses. I gain lessons. All right. How does one build their credit repair business? That could be a lot. So I do have a webinar and I offer coaching to help people build up their credit business. I have a queen who actually booked 3-4 hours with me just to ensure that she can get enough time with me to help her build her business. And she's out in Detroit, Michigan, rocking. I'm talking about rocking. But she made that investment, and she also even bought into our systems, which gave her, basically a business in a box. So to say, how to build a successful business in credit repair, I would have to know where you're at right now, and so that would be more than just having a answer for you on the live. So I apologize. What is RBC? RBC stands for Real Estate, Business, and Credit. Those are the 3 pillars that we are not being taught in school, but is the secret sauce to creating wealth. At least I believe. Everybody who is successful in life, who has created wealth, usually has some form of real estate in their portfolio. Obviously, we want to be able to create businesses, and we can't do either one of those without having great credit. All right. Sacrificing the dollar can create an opportunity towards wealth. Absolutely. I love that. That should be a t-shirt. What are your opinions on a fragrance line business? I believe that if you have a vision, if you're passionate about something, you should do it. You shouldn't worry about if you think somebody else will do it, because if you guys, would have saw how many people laughed at me when I said, look, I'm about to start a credit business. First of all, this was around the time when credit was not as popular as it is right now. And people at my job used to laugh and say, you still doing that credit thing? You still, trying to fix people credit? And so understand, if it's something we're passionate about, it shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks. So I feel that Rising Vibes, if you want to start a fragrance line, go out there and do it. And I'm pretty sure it will be successful. And once you get it up and off the ground, trust me, I will purchase from you as long as it smells good. I love fragrances, but if it don't smell good, I will definitely recommend you to all my friends. All right. So, and anybody who know me, they know I try to support all of y'all. People send me, if I see somebody post a link to their book, I just go buy it. If I see somebody has a clothing line and it's something that I would wear, because I don't wear I don't like every style. I'm pretty conservative. I'll buy it. You know, so I try to support everybody, y'all. Purchase the RBC course, Credit K. Appreciate the support. All right, you welcome, Rising Vibes. Should I wait till my credit repair is done with you before easy funding? Absolutely not. You don't have to wait. No better time than the present. Since credit is key to start my business, I have started focusing on getting my credit taken care of. That's okay, good stuff. Now keep in mind, credit is not key, but credit is a major component. But the fact that you said you're going to focus on your credit is great. You know, definitely that is something that will help you move along, I would say, that much faster. All right, let me see. Try to get some more of these questions. Is there a minimum credit score for easy funding? Yes, you want to be at least a 680, but it's more than just a score. How can someone sign up for easy funding, I'm assuming? King Justice, if you can add the website in the Mr. Will Roundtree page so we can help her get signed up for easy funding. The power of following up. Absolutely. King Kendall. King Kendall was extremely persistent. Drove 3 hours to come and sit down and meet with me. You know, those are the type of individuals I'll work with. You know, when I see someone who's ambitious, they're driven, not saying somebody necessarily has to drive 3 hours, but just the fact that, you know, he doesn't get emotional about things. He said, you know what, this is what I want to do. I'm going to make sure I figure out a way to make it happen. Boom, drove 3 hours, came out to an event, and we got a chance to sit down and rap and build. And the King is definitely well on his way to that next step on his journey. See, is there a reason why when you list your business, they post it with inaccurate info? I'm on the last step. That's because sometimes the individuals who are manually keying that information in, usually sometimes, unfortunately, they can make mistakes. And so just keep in mind, King, that, you know, we're all human, and, you know, you just may have to call and have them updated and change it, unfortunately. All right, let's see what else we got. Starting a business should focus on one at a time, or should you start them at the same time? I mean, you can start multiple companies at once. That's fine. I'm 1 year outside of a bankruptcy. How can I boost my credit to be in position to purchase my first home? You can actually go through credit repair. You can dispute bankruptcies if you did not know that. So you can definitely dispute bankruptcies. I'm enrolled in RBC course. When can I get access to easy funding? Signature_home_theaters. If you are in the path 3, you get access to it when you send an email and let the team know that you have access to path 3. You should have got instructions when you signed up, but definitely welcome, and we appreciate your support. Would you suggest that I go through RBC mastery course before looking to start an easy funding? No, you can do both. You can do both. You know, often, and I've shared this with you guys many times. You're walking down the street, there's a 50 on the ground and 100. Which one are you going to pick up? And I'll let you guys answer that. All right. My brother owns a school. Hold on, I apologize, y'all. My brother owns a school building. My brother owns a school building of old. How can I draw money from the bank to do the building? I'm not sure I understand your question. But if you own the building, then you can tap into the equity. You can tap into the equity. I'm 1 year outside. Oh, okay, we already read that question. Credit K, Black Power. Yes, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I asked again thinking you didn't see it. My fault. No worries. Can you write off any annual fees for an LLC? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's actually a good segue to what I was going to get to. Did y'all know that most of the things you guys are investing in are tax write-offs? Yo, if you don't own a business, you fooling yourself. The tax breaks, tax benefits, tax laws, and tax codes are set up for small business owners. Now, on the flip side of that, we can't write off everything, y'all. If you made 100 grand and you wrote off 90,000, your income is only 10,000. So now you can't go to the bank and get the money like you want to. But this is why you got to have a great tax strategist. And so that's why it's 2 people. Well, it's 3 people I always say you got to have on your team. You got to have an attorney or know someone who can give you legal advice. You got to have a tax strategist, and you got to have a credit specialist. You have those 3, I'm telling you, you cannot lose. You'll always be able to go out there and get access to some type of capital, or be able to syndicate to be able to get access to other people's money. I'm telling y'all, but we got to put ourselves in position first. Will hard inquiry removal be exclusive with easy funding? No, you don't have to be in easy funding to go through our inquiry removal process. Greetings, King. I started my LLC. How do I begin building business credit? King Clyde Temple, reach out to us. Let's book a consultation, because we have to know where you're at. We have to know where you are at to give you advice to get where you want to go. All right. Both. Yeah, absolutely. If you got 150, I'm going to pick up both. So when people say, hey, should I start credit repair? Should I do funding? Do both. If you got it in your budget, definitely do both. You know, there is no better time than the present, as I always say. How can you help me get in position for my first home purchase? Oh, man, that's easy. Send us a message, and now we can definitely book a consultation, or you can speak with one of our wealth advisors to get you positioned to purchase a home. Because for those who do not know, being approved for a home is actually easier being approved for a credit card. And so this is the thing I'm always telling people, like, we gotta start owning some shit. You know, excuse my French. Hopefully my mom isn't on here. I think I block her on Fridays at 5 p.m. so she can't hear me saying some of the stuff I'm saying. And so we got to start owning some shit, y'all, because, you know, having your home gives you access to equity. Equity is money that you can use to be able to go and purchase other shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I say it like that because we got to start getting this through our head. And it's so simple to put yourself in position to own a home. But we got to be willing to do the work. We got to be willing to put the work in. But unfortunately, like my grandfather used to say, if it's dressed in overalls and look like work, we don't want to do it. Oh, it's going to take me too long. My credit bad. So what? What's a long time? 3 years? Is 3 years really long? Because you've been 40 years old and haven't had a house. So we have to stop looking at and putting a timer on greatness. We have to stop putting the time on, you know, creating a legacy, of creating some ownership for our heirs. Again, they're not our children. They are our heirs. We have to start doing so. Does Navy Federal have BCCs? I'm not sure what business credit cards. I'm assuming what that is. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And Navy Federal, some of their products, they giving out money like water. So, but you got to make sure you get your credit in position. On like outright or a mortgage. It doesn't matter. Owning outright or having a mortgage. But you have to have a mortgage to be able to eventually be able to own outright. But if we don't even put ourselves in position to even get the mortgage and purchase the proper way, and what I mean by that is that just because you get a pre-approval for $400,000 don't mean you got to buy a house for $450,000. Again, lightweight. That's why a lot of people got in trouble with the whole housing market crash. You know, I remember when I bought my first property that I lived in. I remember my pre-approval came back, and I told my agent, I'm not paying at the top of what my pre-approval is. Because at the time, if I told my realtor, if I were to lose my job, I still want to be able to be in position to make my mortgage payment. And guess what? I lost my job during the middle of the process, or while I was a homeowner, but I was still able to make my mortgage payments. Because a lot of times we buy things to try to impress other people. I don't even let people come by my house, so I don't need 15 bedrooms and 13 bathrooms. Like, now granted, those are things, you know, that eventually one may want to aspire to, but if your budget isn't conducive to that, like, make sure we're staying modest and being able to keep ourselves in a position to live affordably if you were to lose your job. And so one of the things I'm always telling my clients, how long could you survive if you were to lose your income today? How long could you survive if you were to lose your income today? And then think about that. For some of us, that's scary, because if we lose our job, we're out of a home the next week. You know, some of us don't have 6 months worth of savings, but it doesn't always have to be like that. This is why we got to get this information. This is why we have to have life-altering information to be able to put us into a better position, family. All right. What's info for me to send message? I'm not sure what that means, family. Should one use equity in a condo? Great question. Absolutely. I have a client right now who we just tapped into a HELOC within their home, and they are going to be utilizing that to purchase 2 more investment properties. So, but the fact that they own a home ownership, they were able to use the capital or the equity in the property to be able to use that equity, go out and purchase 2 more investment properties. And my client already had an investment property. So again, it's all strategy. Again, we don't have a money problem. A lot of us are sitting on here and have equity in our homes now and don't even know it. So again, it's all about leverage. If you guys see the T, we're going to leverage everything. All right. Do you have a one-on-one coaching for people who are interested in real estate investing? Queen Evelyn, yes, we do. I do offer one-on-one coaching, and I'm actually going to be capping it soon. And so, yeah, we're going to be capping it because my time can only be spread so thin. All right. What's good, my brother? It's CJ, King CJ. What's going on? I just purchased the RBC. Can't wait to start. Appreciate your support. Thank you. What up, though? Definitely must be from Detroit. All my D-Town people. That's what's up. Mr. Roundtree, you still going to put me on with a great tax person for truckers. Yes. Reach back out to me. If I didn't get back to you, I apologize. Had a lot going on this week. And a lot of it was just trying to hurry up and get this book done for y'all. For some of y'all who pre-ordered was on my neck, and I get it, because I would have did the same thing. That just, was flattering to me because you guys were hungry for the information. So again, I appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all go out and continue to buy the book, which you can go to willroundtree.com or amazon.com and pick up that book. Do you have a good credit? Do you have to have good credit to take the equity from a paid for home? You have to just have a credit score to qualify. So doesn't necessarily mean you have to have excellent credit. Your credit score just have to qualify. And I think some banks will let you take the equity out with around like about a 680. But here's the component when it comes to taxes. We got to stop writing everything off, y'all, because if you have equity in your home, but your global income is what banks like to call it, and you don't have enough income showing on paper, you can't qualify for the refinance or the home equity line of credit. And so just understand that we got to start being intentional about the moves we make, because the decision we made last year to write off everything on our taxes is going to affect us next year when we're trying to refinance that investment property. And so, we just got to start doing better. But coming to forums like this is where we'll be able to position ourselves better so we don't make those mistakes moving forward. All right. My inquiries are clean. My credit score is at a 700. My file is thick, but I applied for a loan and was denied. Why was I denied? I do not know, T. Lucas. That's why you want to reach out to us so we can assist you and find out why you were denied. It could be something. It could be a LexisNexis report. You may have, a delinquency out there that, that may not be on your credit report. But again, this is why we got to book those consultations and speak to a specialist, especially when you're in a situation like that, or at least learn enough about it and become more knowledgeable by coming on forums like this to be able to, figure those things out. How much income do you want to see for home buying or pulling out equity? It's going to vary from bank to bank. A lot of times it's going to be depending on how much that property is. All right. Any suggestions on create employment yourself? That is a good question. So if you're trying to, now when you say create employment for yourself, do you mean you going out there making money for yourself, or you creating jobs for others? Help me clarify that. For myself, trying to have multiple streams of income, should I create my own business and put all the income under the one, even if it comes from multiple sources? You definitely can. Yes, you definitely could do that. You don't have to have multiple companies to get income from multiple sources. Absolutely not. How to book a consultation? Send me a direct message. I'll have my team reach out to you, Detroit_investor, and we will have someone get you set up for a consultation. How do we get into the credit repair game? Reach out to my team and we will get you started. I will be doing another webinar this month about how to build a 6-figure income in the credit repair industry. Income for yourself. Oh man, you can do a million things to create income for yourself. I mean, I know people who are making $6,000-7,000 a month doing Uber. I mean, it's really never a shortage of how you can make money. Like I say, for those who know, I love Toro, Turo, renting out my vehicles and let people drive those. You know, I always tell people I don't even care about the cars. I'll buy a vehicle just so I can put it out there, and I'm gonna make my I'm gonna make my liabilities turn into assets, because purchasing a vehicle could be a liability, but I'm definitely gonna create an asset out of it. Let's see. Understood. I was referring to the inquiries from Easy Funding beginning remove as a part of the service. No, the inquiries are a completely different service. Completely different service. How do you get account with Navy Federal Credit Union? You have to be sponsored in. So if you have a family member who's military, or you know someone who is with Navy Federal, they can sponsor you to be a part of it. See, I'm a mortgage loan officer, and that's a huge mistake, Will. Absolutely, King Marcus. People writing off all their income. Yo, y'all want to get with the a loan officer expert? Reach out to King Marcus Harris. You know, another thing I want y'all to do, start shouting y'all businesses out. Yo, we got so many great business owners right here. We need to start networking with each other. All right. The information I'm receiving from you is changing my life and the way I will raise my sons. Thanks, King. Oh, no, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. What letter to send to the credit reporting agencies when they send you a verification document? You can send them a debt validation letter, and a lot of times that's just a stall tactic. You know, half the time I ignore those when they send them to the client. All right. Can we get a Toro video lesson in the future? Yes, people been beating my DM down, wanting me to do a video on Toro. So yes, I will put something together for you guys. I'm actually working on a lot of new content. If you have not done so, please make sure you go over to my YouTube and subscribe. Will Roundtree on YouTube. All right. When the underwriter is looking to give you the capital, look at your credit profile. Do they care if you are self-employed? Very good question. It depends. Some banks, now it depends. Now the good thing is that when you're going for revolving credit, they're not looking at if you're self-employed or not, because guess what? You can use stated income. But when you're trying to get a loan, you have to have proof of income, which a lot of banks want you to have W-2 income. And that is because a lot of times with self-employment income, there's a lot of fraud that they say that goes into that. But this is why getting revolving capital, getting revolving income is so much easier. It's simple. All right. What is Toro? It's T-U-R-O. Toro is, for lack of better words, it is what having a home is to Airbnb. Having a vehicle, you could rent your vehicle or vehicles on Toro for a profit. Okay. So if you have multiple vehicles, no matter what type of car it is, put it on Toro. You'd be surprised the type of vehicles that are being rented on Toro. All right. Is it possible to invest in a property with $15K in credit? It depends on what you're buying the property for. It really depends. All right. Thinking about making the buying and selling cars a legitimate business. Should I go an LLC or corp? Thanks, Will. Very good question. Someone said thinking about buying and selling cars and making it a legitimate business. Making it a corp or an LLC, that's something you want to consult your tax specialist with. Again, if you want to get access to a tax specialist, reach out to us, get you locked in with one. But your entity structure is based upon your tax liability. I wholeheartedly always recommend when you're first starting off in business, you do an LLC first, because when you do a corporation, guess what? You're double taxed. Again, these are things they don't tell us about. You're double taxed. But when you have an LLC, the income drives through one tax return. Then as your company starts to make money, at least what my tax specialist has always told me, you create it, you file an election to become an S corp. So now you get the benefits of an LLC and a corporation, just like that. And you minimize self-employment tax. Y'all, this is gang. Carmen, what's going on with you? All right. What kind of cars do you have on Toro? I preferably like luxury vehicles. So we deal with Mercedes-Benz, the Jag Coupes, BMWs, Maseratis, looking at a couple other things that we're going to be adding to the fleet. All right. But you don't have to do high-end vehicles. I mean, I have, clients who just have smart cars on there. They're buying used smart cars for $3,000, $4,000, putting them on there, making an extra $300, $400 a month. Now, some people may say $300, $400 extra a month. That's not a lot of money. Ask yourself right now, what could you do with an extra $300-400 a month? How much further could that stretch your month out? You know, a lot of times, again, we have to stop, turning our nose up to some extra money, because a lot of times we end up having extra bills. So that extra money can go to paying those extra bills. And so I'm definitely all about that. Love these calls. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for supporting. Thank you. What is the difference in an LLC and a tax ID number? I'm not sure I understand that question, but a tax ID number is an EIN, an employee identification number, which the IRS uses to identify and track your business. I need to get access to the course I paid for last week. They're not an email. You can send an email directly to me, will@jmorrisonacademy.com. will@jmorrisonacademy.com. That's what I make net on my rentals. BJ_Esco, that's what I'm talking about. I saw you had a post about getting involved in making $50,000 during tax season. Yes. That's actually a good segue. Should I switch to an S Corp? Living proof. I don't know. I have to see a situation. So, everybody been asking, how can you make some extra money? I'm telling you, the tax season is probably the best industry to make money in. Couple different reasons why. I don't care what the economy does. I don't care what the housing market does. I don't care how much money somebody has, how little money somebody has. Guess what? They all have to file taxes. We just have to be the ones to be able to provide them the tax services and the benefit of why they want to do taxes with you. And so if that is something that you're looking to do, and I know people who, just invest into the program to put other people on. So essentially you're enterprising. I'm putting y'all up on some game now. I've had people who have invested in our tax program to be a tax specialist, but then use that to put other people in position to file taxes under the company that they created by just investing. So they actually were able to make more than $50,000 their first year. I'm telling y'all, we have to start thinking outside the box. If that's something you're open to, I mean, I've had tax specialists who've made well more than over $50,000 within the tax season. And keep in mind, tax season is only 10 weeks. And so imagine what an additional $50,000 could do for you in the next 10 weeks on top of getting the capital through easy funding and investing in other businesses and doing Toro and buying real estate and buying companies and doing all this other stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, send us a direct message and I will get you connected with our team so that way we can get you in the game because, with the tax season literally right around the corner, you want to get locked in soon. All right. Chill the Barber. Scroll up to my question, please. I have so many people on here. I'm probably not going to be able to find your question. Instead of asking me to find it, please just resend it. I think that'll make it easier for me. Do you have a good CFO? I have all my team in place. So yes. What do you do with the business credit cards after the introductory period is over? Very good question. So one of the things I always tell people is that I'm not too concerned about the interest rate on the credit cards because guess what? I'm not paying the minimum payment forever. We show people the strategies to be able to pay and service the debt on the credit cards. Plus, it's the cheapest money you'll be able to get with being a brand new business. No bank is going to give you a small business loan. Most of us don't have that rich Uncle Phil from Beverly Hills. So where else are we going to get the money? And then the only other way we can get money as a small business are going after short-term lending with companies like Cabbage and PayPal, where the interest rate is 30 to 250%. That's not doable because most people can't service the debt for that. So, family, I appreciate y'all. I see the timer going down on Instagram. Again, glad you guys came to tune in to FICO Friday today. My name is Will Roundtree. Again, please do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. Let's go out and support this book. Let's make this a #1 New York top bestseller. King Frank, if you're still on here, I need you to go buy all 300 copies today for me, brother. All right, family. So, again, you can go to willroundtree.com to support. You can go to amazon.com. Of course, you can still go and pick up Credit is King, with the holidays coming up. Let's give a gift that's going to keep on giving, that's going to change somebody in your life, as well as somebody in your family life. This will be on Facebook. This will also go up on YouTube. Again, you can go to YouTube, Mr. Will Roundtree. Until then, family, I will see you guys next week. All right, y'all. Peace.